Hello, Sagittarius. How are you, my friends? Welcome to your 2022 release and receive reading. So what are you going to release and what you going to receive for 2022? Now, if you're familiar with my channel, you've been with me for a little bit, you know that typically when I do this, I do one major release and one major receive. But what I'm doing this year is I'm breaking it up. So I'm breaking the year up into two halves. So the first half of 2022 and the second half of 2022. So we're going to do a release and receive for the first half and a release and receive for the second half. So it's kind of like, yeah, double the trouble. What could it be? I'm going to use my Energy Oracle deck and my Tarot of Positive Clarity and my teeny tiny Rider-Waite deck if I need to clarify. Yeah, there will be an extended as well. So the link to that is at the top of the description within this video if you're drawn to it. Now, I'm going to tell you what the extended is going to be about at the end of the video. So if that's what you're interested in, you'll get all that at the end. I think typically anyways, anyone who's interested in an extended probably watches the whole video. So let's do this, Sagittarius. Release and receive for my dear Saggy friends. What is being released and what is being received? It's funny, when I said that, I literally felt like you were releasing a part of your personality. What is being released? So, interesting. Because sometimes the release too is like closing off a cycle, closing off something in your life, walking away from something, completing something, but that almost felt like releasing a part of your personality. So let's see where we go with this, Sagittarius. You release and receive for the first half of 2022 and release and receive for the second half of 2022. Sagittarius, releasing, rest and rejuvenation. Well, that feels like you're going out to have some good times. It sort of feels like you're finishing a cycle of healing. You're finishing a cycle of paying particular attention to your spiritual practice, to some sort of spiritual development in yourself. Yeah, you know, it just really has a feeling as if you have been working on something internally, maybe even externally. It's showing up externally in how you're kind of going through life, but you're finished with that. So you're sort of finished with that at the first half of 2022. So what's coming in? Oh, you have contract. What is this? That's interesting. These energies almost don't feel related somehow. You're taking on some sort of a new obligation at the first half of 2022, or perhaps you're completing a contract. You're receiving this contract. It's funny, I'm hearing phrases like that, releasing your personality, and here, receiving a contract, like receiving it in full. This is going to be interesting to clarify this with. I have new jeans on. Did you ever buy jeans or buy pants or buy anything, really mostly pants, and you try them on at the store, and you know, you look at them different angles, yeah, they look good, and you walk, you do a little crouchy things. They're tight in the thighs when I sit, and I didn't sit in the jeans when I went to buy them, but they're a little tight. And so if you see me struggling, I'm like, I washed myself, I'm not put you down there. They're a little tight in the thighs. So anyways, actually it's kind of funny I would say that, because thighs, that's the area that's ruled by Sagittarius, is it not? I'm pretty sure it is. The hips, the thighs. That's so funny. Okay, so you release for the second half of 2022. Here are the ages. I'm telling y'all, healed up. You're all healed up for 2022. At least anything that you've needed to like really work on for yourself to be able to move forward, you're all healed up on that. You've come to terms with certain things in your life, come to terms with certain elements of yourself. 2022 is not a year for healing for you. You're done with that shit. I just want to say you were like done with it. Off you go. Boop, boop, boop. Okay, so what are you receiving? Wow. Nice. The sun. You're receiving the sun. Talk about, like, you know that you're ready to receive it, because you know in 2022 that you've done the work that you needed to do and you're good. So, okay, you almost literally have such similar energies for the release in the first and second half of 2022 that I want to say this part of a release, particularly that it's coming in first, is like literally, it's almost like coming out of a hermit mode. It just feels like coming out of a hermit mode. And so you're going to be out there a little bit more. You're going to be out there a little bit more. You're going to be exploring new possibilities, maybe meeting new people, maybe taking, accepting invitations to things that you wouldn't have accepted before. Just putting yourself out there in a different way. But now you come over here into the second half of 2022 with releasing the Healer of the Ages. This could be part of your personality release that I was picking up before the reading started. So it could also have something to do with releasing an aspect of your personality, being a healer of the ages to those around you. So because you've completed healing, you are now able to participate in helping to heal others, helping to understand people's stories because you've been through it. So you have the experience to actually help people on some level here. Now, what I want to say though is the original intent that I was getting with these two being releases is that, you know, when you work on something individually for a long time, it could be anything. It could be a project, it could be art, it could be yourself. In particular, we're talking about healing. So once you go out, you're still healing. Like if you're starting to eliminate something, maybe kind of eliminate the four swords. Maybe you've needed a lot of naps. Maybe you've needed a lot of rest, a lot of meditation, a lot of bubble baths, a lot of just self-care practice for yourself. So that's bye-bye. But now when you go out there, now you're kind of taking who you are after all of that self-care and you're integrating it into the world. So you're not really technically completed a healing cycle until you can integrate that into the world. So it almost feels like you're integrating this level of healed you into the world in the first part of 2022. And then when you get to the second part of 2022, the integration is complete. So releasing it. So now I'm releasing the healing because I've integrated myself as I am whole in this level, cycle, portion of my life. I've integrated into the world, because to me, that would be really healed. You can do all the healing you want all day and every day in your house, in your bubble, but until you integrate it into the world, I really don't think it's fully healed because it's not actually functional and you're not functional fully, your full capacity, all pistons going. So do you get what I'm saying? So this contract, I need to pull out tarot cards on it because it could be like the gamut of things here. Just a gamut of things that you could be receiving. It could be something as deep as opening up a new soul journey for yourself. You are walking in alignment with a path that has to do with your fate. It's sort of a fated time for you. Soul contracts that you sold before you came into this lifetime. Here you are, initiating them, coming into them. Could also be like something to do with physical contracts in this three-dimensional life. And then do we even need to talk about the sun? Shall we? You want me to? So this is, you see so clearly, but why wouldn't you with what we got here in terms of release? You see so clearly who you are. You value yourself on such a very high level, but not like, it's not arrogant. And I would not, because come on, this looks like Jesus himself. So this is a very high level spiritual, I'm here, I'm trying to say words, but I'm getting acclimatization. So acclimatizing yourself to this. It's almost allowing yourself, like still being humble, but allowing yourself to Give permission to reach your fullest potentials. Find your happiest, brightest, warmest days. Honey, let's manifest the world here. What's at the bottom? The thinking woman, a storm, the door to romance, and yin and yang, and the temple path. There's a whole lot of shit under here in the first chakra. You know, I sat down today. I'm a little behind in these. I thought, I wonder if I could do 4. We've got 4 left in this. I wonder if I could do 4. I thought, no, that's a lot because there's extended. So that's 8 videos. I thought, who knows? Maybe they'll go pretty easy. They'll be pretty straightforward. I'll know when I sit down. So I won't be doing 4 today. So let's move these down. So you have the thinking woman. We have storm warning. Door to romance. Yin yang. All right, y'all got to really move down because the underline here. Why are we here, right? I would like to think of the underline as that. Why are we here? What's going on? What's the real reason for this? The temple path. Oh, and the first chakra. Wow, this is so interesting. This is kind of talking about what a lot of this healing is that's been going on for you. This is coming to some sort of resolution that not all things that feel meant for you, that you feel inclined to move towards, make sense. You can't make sense of, you know, it's funny because to me, okay, you have the door to romance sitting here with storm. And I describe love as the energy of chaos. Chaos, like chaos is that element that causes evolution and change in our universe, in our world, in ourselves. And it's that one thing that you can't predict, that you can't even understand. So I see that happening here. And now look at the, like you have 33 and 22 sitting right beside each other. This is as if, you know, we're talking about something perhaps coming along a fated path here. And with this door to romance and the yin and the yang, there's a fated path here. And it is very spiritual. But it's funny because you are a very spiritual person. I'm certainly picking that up with these 2 cards as being a release. If you haven't always been, you've definitely been in a cycle of that, a season of deep spiritual reflection. The part there here that needs to be balanced. You had the angel of balance in this deck when I held it up to show you what I was using. Interesting. Okay. The part that needs to be balanced is that you cannot understand chaos. So you cannot understand love. And now the temple path and the first chakra, this is grounding. This is almost allowing yourself to have a spiritual experience in the 3 dimension. And I do want to say it has something to do with romance. It might just have to do with your understanding of romance. It might have something to do with finding yourself in a new romance. But it really definitely does have something to do with connecting the divine with the 3 dimension. Interesting. So let's put this up here. All righty then. Sagittarius, your readings are beginning quite interesting. Yeah, you know, because I'm actually being brought back to one of the first readings that I remember doing for you. It was quite some time ago. And obviously I did other readings before this one, but it was more the energy of trying to find the right career path, trying to find the right job. You know, not that those aren't spiritual paths, but they didn't have the spiritual questions behind it. And you and I have been going on. I say you and I because I'm reading your energy and I'm watching it change. And you know, if I was going to say, if I remembered anyone's extendeds. Now, that's not to say that I want you to go and watch them. I'm not trying to push you there, because I will talk about them here. And if I'm talking about them, you've probably been through it. But maybe just didn't need to hear it as strongly as other people did who went to them. So throughout this year, you have done a lot of inner child work, a lot. And I do remember a couple extended readings where I felt a little hard, but I was acting as the conduit, as the message to you from the divine. And they were some pretty difficult messages about how you come off to the world, how you present yourself, but who you really are. And I'm just sitting here, and I almost, because what we're looking at in the future, you're in this right now. You're leading up to this. And I feel like you've been leading up to it a bit, just watching your energy evolve. And even if you haven't been on my channel for a fairly long time, you're still a Sagittarius. And I bet you some of it's resonating. What I'm talking about is, yeah, your energy is really blossoming. Really blossoming. Okay, so rest and rejuvenation, contract, healer of the ages, and the sun. Talk about blossoming. Like the seed of a lotus flower. Actually, do they seed, or do they propagate through roots? The seeds, the seed of the lotus flower. I can change my own roses, my reading. The seed of the lotus flower, buried deep into the mucky depths of the deep waters. Anyways, I don't know. Okay, so I'm all like really flowy because it's been a few days. So rest and rejuvenation, the 7 of Wands. Ah, see, this is protective. You're like, oh, off we go out into the world. What did I tell you? No more protection. So sort of be like your spiritual practice has been protective. So it's not to say that you've been locked up in your house for 2 years. Well, maybe you have. A lot of us kind of have. But, you know, if you've been going out, you've still had the bubble around you. You've still had the protective bubble around you. And an energetic field. Bye-bye, field. Look at that. 7 of Wands. How, that's so ideal. Oh, this card just dying to come. Oh, well, look at this contract. I'm not showing you yet. Healer of the ages, the King of Pentacles. You're releasing this. That's curious. What did I just talk about? How I felt like your readings used to be like a couple of years ago, 2.5 years, 3 years ago. More about trying to find the right job, trying to find the right career path. What's the best way to make money? You're releasing this. But yet, it brings you to the sun. You're releasing, I don't know, you could be releasing something to do with your status. What are you receiving? Oh my. Oh, wow. All right. So, okay. The contract that you are receiving is the Lovers. The sun that you are receiving is the Empress. Sagittarius, Sagittarius. It's been a while since I've done the readings, but the first one I did was Aries, obviously. And it was so good. I thought, how is anyone going to follow this? How? I feel like I've hit another fire sign energy that's really finding that. Really. What did we talk about here? Look at this. This yin and the yang. And even before I pulled this Lovers card and the sun with the Empress, I had this feeling of chaos. Like trying to understand chaos. Trying to understand love. But these are not things that can have a logical sense. I mean, that's why the universe has created it. Because without it, there is no evolution. There is no pushing you to a boundary to explore. This is bringing something very spiritual into the 3-dimension. It's just grounding it with this first chakra. It might be very sexual too. Oh my goodness. Okay, you are receiving because you're opening up though. Like what can get to you? Not even your own soul contracts can get to you in this energy. But maybe there's a reason for it, right? Because maybe when we walk up to the threshold, when we walk up to the gate of some sort of new major cycle for ourselves, and this is pretty major energy. Like it feels like it has a lot to do with your divine path. You can't walk up to that gate. The gatekeeper will not let you through if you do not resonate at the right frequency, the right sort of spiritual fingerprint of who you are. Nobody else can get through that gate. It's meant for you, right? We talked about the path of fate here. But you can't get through that gate if you're not showing up in the right way. If you haven't, because you're changing. We're always changing. We're meant to evolve and change all the time. And you wouldn't have been able to go through the gate anyways. So you did what you had to do and you protected yourself, but maybe this is also protecting yourself from outside energies that could influence this. I'm hearing, you know, it's actually, it makes sense. I'm hearing this, just the funniest words like hermaphrodite. And it's because we have yin and yang. So it almost is like combining your masculine and your feminine energies purely without anything outside of you affecting that. You become the yin and the yang here. And now, because you release it, you take off the protective shield. You take off the energetic, like a force field. It almost looks like a force field. Red alert, a little bit like you've been on red alert. If you were the Starship Enterprise, you would have had a force field and red alert going all the time. But now it's down. It's down. The defenses are down. And you can open up. You can walk up to the threshold of this gate. And you will be recognized to pass through it. Is it romantic? It kind of has the feeling of a possibility. It definitely has something to do with divine choices. Off you go into your path, through the gate, and explore your choices. Here's your fate. Choose your destiny. And I do feel very curious about this. Releasing this. It could be too about releasing a part of your personality. The first thing that came through before I picked out any cards, releasing a part of your personality to be shown, to be explored, to be seen. This is not seen energy. And by doing that, I do feel like you drop some other aspect of your personality that has more to do with the 3-dimension, more to do with worldly acclaim or the possibility of such. Ah, see? Now, to me, the Empress is Mother Gaia. The Empress is Earth incarnate. And it is how, if someone is walking that path, they are manifesting through the most natural realms of space, universal law, etc. This is the law of man. This is manifesting in the 3-dimension here on Earth in the law of man. Gold only has value because man says it does. There's so many things of value that look so minuscule to mankind, but the universe and Mother Earth know the value in it. And that's what the Empress is. This is really deep. This is a very deep. 2022 is an incredibly deep spiritual year for you. But it's not about healing. It's about releasing yourself from the healing. It's about coming out of the chrysalis. Chrysalis just doesn't feel right even. It's not, I'm not even getting any words that describe what I see here. I don't know, maybe there's some sort of karmic test that's been involved along this, but to see you as releasing what man understands to be of value here on Earth and actually receiving the true value of what is here on Earth. But that's spiritual. This is not spiritual. This is very spiritual, but it's wrought with incredible abundance. Okay, so this underline, this is interesting. Oh yeah, you're right. Okay. We have the Four of Wands again. There, look at that beautiful energy, the Four of Wands. But then we have the Nine of Swords, Four of Pentacles, Temperance. You might still be working through this. You might not be here yet, because this is energy for the future. Look at this. Look at this person sitting between these two energies. This is the abundance and beauty and celebration that is found from within, that is experienced outwardly. And then this is hanging on to what you understand or you think is value, that Four of Pentacles, and being caught between the conundrum of that with the Nine of Swords. This is almost too like waking up from a dream, from almost an unusual dream that you don't know where this is going, where this is leading. Why are these characters in this dream? Why am I in this forest? What's happening? And then something happens, the dream plays out, and right at the last point in the dream, you realize the difference in this value. And it almost changes the entire perspective of everything you ever thought was important in your life. And you wake up in a cold sweat, like right up out of bed. It's just like, it almost feels that dramatic. And then here you have the healing, the Temperance, the healing, alchemizing the base metals into gold. What truly is gold? The gold coins, the golden candle, the golden heart. That's the true gold, is the golden heart. Look at this big pentacle plate on his heart. Even if your soul has not been buried with, let's say this, so even if your soul has not been buried in physically, like a life of developing this and then actually removing it and walking a real path, it's definitely coming to terms with everything that you've been told and where even yourself starting to believe about this path and releasing it. Allowing your soul not to be hidden behind this big gold pentacle. Your season is changing for sure. With Temperance, I just feel a lot of season change. Oh my goodness. I don't need to clarify that. It's pretty obvious, I think. No? All right, we're going to do contract. Look at this. Two of Cups, Hermit. Yeah, that's Hermit. Hermit. All right, contract. Contract. Six of Wands. The Star. The Death card. Oh, this is a big shift in where you see your success. Big shift. But walking, it almost feels like walking your cosmic path. See, look at this. This person is riding on this horse to receive their accolades towards two major arcana energies. And this really feels like major arcana. It just looks like the the Justice card in the tarot. So it does feel very faded. Right, healing, releasing your healing. The star is also about healing, healing yourself. Releasing that to go to the sun. The Lovers. Look at how all of these are landing over here. This one is landing here, like seeing your way straight forward, clearly. Four of Pentacles and the Ace of Cups. And it is landing over here. We talked about, well, the Four of Pentacles was here. Part of the bad dream. Oh, I messed them all up. I remember. Right? The Four of Pentacles. Part of the bad dream. Holding yourself off from really having a new beginning. And then the Queen of Swords. She's just, to me, she's sitting, because she's sitting here all by herself on the table, looking this way into the future, right? This is the second half of 2022. You're looking straight down your guided path. Release. I'm so curious about this. Healer of the Ages, releasing Healer of the Ages. Man, that landed way over there. The Magician. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, I would call him the Magician. Whew. It's time to create new things in your life. It's time to start manifesting on the new path, for one. But it really is releasing your creative force. It's allowing your golden heart to shine through and no longer being covered by this big, I want to call it a brass plate, which doesn't even have the same value of everything that he's sitting around. Although brass in it, again, see, I've even just put like a human standard of measuring a metal. King of Pentacles, releasing this. Nine of Swords. It's not an easy choice. Holy crap. The Wheel of Fortune. But you see, I think it is. I think it is when you get there. I think the Nine of Swords is the anxiety of this. I think this ends up producing anxiety. Everything that you were building around you, or the concept of what you were supposed to or should or had to build around you, that produces the anxiety, and shifting it completely by releasing it. Almost has a feeling of someone who's worked, tightness. Someone who's worked, like, I don't know, let's say in stocks or something, New York, a busy New York life, and just having this epiphany. And not just, I mean, it leads up. This really leads up. This is not just I wake up one day and oh, but you have the dream. You have the dream, and then when everything plays out the way it should, you pull up to the curb one day to work, to walk in to the stock exchange, whatever it is. You got the King of Pentacles in your fancy Porsche or whatever that might be. You close the door, boop, boop, you lock it, you're about to walk in, and I don't know what it is. It's just a moment in time that was meant to happen. You pull off the tie. The first person walking by, you throw them the keys, the ownership's in the glove box. Good for you. You take off your shoes and you walk down the sidewalk barefoot. And as you're going, like you're taking off the tie, you're taking off the jacket, and you're walking into the sun like this, like, right? And then everyone's looking at you and they're almost seeing you for the first time. Like everyone's always seen you pull up to the curb in the Porsche. Everyone's always seen you get out. But you've almost been not the Six of Wands, because the Six of Wands is having success. Everyone around you is so, like, this success is awesome. Like, it catches their eye. They love it. They love what they're seeing. This, nobody, look at, there's nobody here with him. He's sitting all by himself. Sitting by himself. This cat, look at the people. Look at them. Like, did you, that's that dude. That dude, that dudette. that always comes by in the Porsche and goes into that big expensive metal and glass building. Look at, they're taking, and then there you are. And all you've got underneath, left, walking down, is like your undershirt and, I don't know, your pants. Hopefully you kept your pants on. But your socks, your shoes are off. You're walking down and you have become the epitome of success. Like, it's so interesting. Oh yeah, so let's go over there. Let's clarify that. How can I take you this far in the reading? I'll clarify this. The Sun. This is what you're receiving. The Hanged Man. And it's funny where it landed. It's almost as if what you've been trying to understand outside of you for so long with the Thinking Woman and the Storm Warning. What you've been trying to understand outside of yourself for so long. The chaos that exists that really is the evolution of your soul. The Empress. There you are. Walking down the sidewalk of New York, Fifth Avenue, not even, yeah. Half naked. Throw your car keys away. Off I go. The Empress. Look at the Four of Wands and Justice. It's just flying out. I don't know what you're going to be doing. But please let me know. I'd love to be down there to watch it happen. Four of Wands, Justice, Temperance, and the Four of Cups. Oh, it has a feeling of, I've waited long enough. I'm going after what I've really missed out on in life. Yeah, it really does. I'm not taking no for an answer anymore. But that almost feels like yourself. Well. The Nine of Pentacles. Well, aren't you looking fine? You are looking fine. It feels like an independence. Claiming your independence from things that aren't real. Things that are not real. I mean, what do they always say? I mean, you can't take it with you, and you certainly can't. And what has value? It's just what a society that you happen to be born into tells you has value right now. But why? Why does that have value right now as opposed to conch shells, seashells, like from 10,000 years ago? They had value. Gold would have had really very little value then. So what? Like, this is finding the value in what really is real and is never changing. A value that never depreciates through the hands of time. Holy shit, Sagittarius. That was deep, man. I'm going to go through the extended. Oh, yeah. So the extended. What I'm going to do with the extended is I'm going into my Spirit Animal Oracle deck, and I'm going to pick out a tarot deck. And I'm not dividing anything up into time frames, although we do get indications of what's going on in these time frames. I'm going to pull cards specifically on your work and finances, your personal relationships, and your spiritual journey. So we're going to look at 3 sections here. And like I said, I'm not really trying to pull in, does this happen at the first half, the second half? But I've been finding that, oh, look at that. It's talking about that over here. So, you know. Anyways, that's what I'm going to do. Thank you so much, Sagittarius. I hope you have a wonderful, healthy, prosperous, abundant, joyful, fulfilling 2022. Until next time, do be gentle with yourselves. Bye.